delivered by ISSM Business School. I am Manhya Priya, delighted to be your host for this day. This conclave brings together leaders, experts, and visionaries to discuss the evolving landscape of digital investments, sharing their valuable ideas and insights and inspire future leaders. Without any further delay, let us embark on this enlightening experience together by rising for Tamil. I request everyone to rise up. Symbolizes knowledge and wisdom. To illuminate our path with these guiding virtues, I now kindly invite our esteemed guests, Mr. P. Jagannathan sir, Mr. Rangavedra K. Ravi sir, our founder and managing director, Dr. Kartai Mahalingam, our principal, Mr. Ranjan Kumar sir, and our finance head, Mr. Dinesh Kumar sir, for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp. For gracing this occasion. Every grand event begins with a warm welcome. To extend that gesture, I invite Mr. Surya, the monarch of ISSM Ministry C2, to welcome the gathering.
Good morning everyone. On behalf of ISSM Business School, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to today's Inspirational Leadership Lab on New Age Digital Investments. It is truly an honor to gather here to explore latest trends and opportunities in digital investment landscape. We are privileged to have our esteemed chief guest, Mr. P. Jagannathan and Mr. Rangavedra K. Ravi sir, with us today. Sirs, your vast experience, expertise in asset management, banking, wealth management, and cyber security is an inspiration to us. We eagerly look forward to gain invaluable insights from your experience and expertise and understand how digital investments in reshaping industries and careers. I would like to take this moment to show my sincere gratitude to our respected chairman, Mr. Kadil Ganapathy Pansor, our visionary founder and managing director, Dr. Kartai Mahalingam ma'am, our ever supportive principal, Mr. Ajit Kumar sir, and head placement, Baba Thomas sir, and our dedicated faculty members for organizing this invaluable session. Their constant guidance and unwavering support have been instrumental in making events like this possible, encouraging us to strive for excellence. To my fellow students, let's make the most of this incredible opportunity. The knowledge we gain today will not only enhance our understanding of digital investments, but also empower us to make informed decisions as future business leaders. Thank you once again for being part of this transformative experience. Let's engage, learn, and get inspired together. Welcome you all to the New Age Digital Investments Conclave. Thank you.
Thank you, Surya, for the warm welcome. Let's now take a brief look at the remarkable journey of ISSM Business School, a name synonymous with excellence and innovation. I invite Mr. Pradip Prem, the Defense Minister of ISSM Ministry C2, to share the ISSM's inspiring journey.
Happy morning, everyone. Welcome to ISSM Business School, where excellence is not just a goal, but a journey we embark on together. Since 2008, we have been empowering young minds and nurturing them into the leaders of the future. ISSM offers MBA industry integrated courses affiliated with Alagappa University and Malaysian University of Science and Technology. In these 17 years, we've transformed challenges into opportunities, and today we stand as a beacon of innovation, growth, and leadership. Under the inspiring leadership of our chairman, Mr. Kadrivel Ganapathiappan sir, our founder and managing director, Dr. Bhargavi Mahalingam ma'am, our ever supportive Mr. Ranjit Kumar sir, ISSM is a place where we don't teach, we inspire, we challenge, and we empower our students to push boundaries and reach for new heights. We are dedicated to cultivating leaders who don't merely follow existing paths but actively redefining them. At ISSM, learning is an experience that goes beyond just the text. We believe in the power of real-world connection and hands-on learning. Through initiatives like the Leadership Lab, where industry pioneers share their journey, outbound training, industrial visits, and impactful projects, our students aren't just preparing for the future, they are creating it. Additionally, our certification programs in fields like Six Sigma, SAP Sahana, Advanced Excel, Executive Communication, PMO, Power BI, Labor Laws, Business Analytics, and GST Taxation equip our students with tools to excel in any industry, while keeping them ahead of the curve. But it's not just about academics, it's about building a kind of character that can thrive in any situation. Through cultural events, festival celebration, and a deep commitment to diversity, we ensure that our students grow only in knowledge but in confidence, creativity, and leadership. Our specialization in HR, financing, marketing, operations, and systems provides valuable industry exposure through internship starting in the second semester, allowing students to apply classroom learning in real corporate environments. Through events like Business Gala and other such initiatives, ISSM fosters the mindset of entrepreneurship, encouraging students to envision starting their own business rather than just pursuing traditional employment. When it comes to placement, we are proud to offer career opportunities with salaries ranging from 6 lakh per annum to 20 lakhs per annum. It's just not about the paycheck, it's about starting a career that matters, one that reflects your passion, your hard work, and your potential. At ISSM, we are more than just a business school. We are a catalyst for visionaries, providing the foundation to help them realize their potential, a community of change makers, and a place where the future is not just awaited, it's created. We are here to empower each of you to realize your potential and help you to take the first step towards making an impact in the world. Thank you for being a part of this incredible journey. Together, let's shape a future that is bold, unique, limitless, and the opportunities ahead. Thank you.
Thank you for taking us through the inspiring journey, Pradip. To provide a contextual overview and set the tone for today's event, we are honored to invite our finance head, Mr. Dinesh Kumar sir, for setting up the context. Please join me in welcoming him.
Very good morning. To set the context for the morning, in an era where technology continues to redefine the financial landscape, the world of investment is undergoing a transformational shift. From the emergence of digital asset to the integration of AI in wealth management, the need to stay ahead of the curve has never been more critical. As we navigate this digital revolution, understanding the intricacies of new age digital investment is a key to build resilience and sustainable growth. To shed light on this evolving thing, ISSM Business School is proud to host the New Age Digital Investment Conclave under the banner of our Inspirational Leadership Lab. This platform brings together visionaries and industrial leaders to share insights, experience, and strategies that empower the aspiring professionals like you to thrive in digital-driven investment ecosystem. And we are privileged to have two eminent professionals with us today. Mr. P. Jagannathan sir, a seasoned expert in asset management, banking, and wealth management who brings decades of financial wisdom and strategies to the table. And it's my honor to invite Mr. Raghavendra K. Ravi, Deputy Superintendent of Police, Cybercrime Wing, Chennai, whose expertise in cybercrime highlights a critical need to safeguard digital financial assets in an increasingly interconnected world. Through this conclave, we aim to explore convergence of technology, finance, and security, equipping our students with the insight they need to embrace innovation while mitigating risk as well. As we dwell into this dynamic conversation, I encourage you all to actively engage, exchange ideas, and envision the future of investment where opportunities are abundant, but yet vigilance remains paramount. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for setting the tone for today's event. Now it's time to hear from our esteemed guest. To introduce Mr. P. Jagannathan, sir, an experienced leader in asset management, banking, and wealth management, I invite Ms. Kaushika, the Home Affairs Minister of ISSM Ministry, C2, for the introducing the guest.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce a distinguished leader in the world of asset management, banking, and wealth management, Mr. P. Jagannathan sir. With an impressive career spanning over 25 years, he has carved a niche for himself as an expert in Indian capital markets, debt markets, personal finance, and also asset allocation. His vast experience and strategic insights have made a lasting impact on the financial industry. Mr. Jagannathan's journey includes an esteemed tenure at HDFC Asset Management Company Limited, where he served as a Deputy Zonal Head in South until October 2024. Under his leadership, he managed assets exceeding 30,000 crores, playing a key role in driving business growth, strengthening client relationships, and delivering innovative investment solutions. With his deep industry knowledge, coupled with his ability to navigate ever-evolving financial landscapes, has positioned himself as a visionary leader and true advisor in the financial management space. We are honored to have you here, sir.
Thank you, Kaushika. I humbly request our founder and managing director, Dr. Parkavi Mahalingam ma'am, to felicitate Mr. P. Jagannathan sir. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. P. Jagannathan, sir, to share his valuable insights. The stage is yours, sir.
Good morning, all. Good morning. So I take this opportunity first to thank you. First, I would like to thank Dr. Bhargavi for giving this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to meet the students. And today we have a very exciting topic. I also take this opportunity to welcome and happy to share Mr. Raghavendra stage with you on the topic. I'm sure all of us, India is one of the fastest country in the world. Any management student should know this. From the time India got independence, this is one of the best time. This is one of the best time India is going through in terms of economic cycle, social cycle, standard of living, many aspects. But if you have to put the context, everything needs a benchmark, right? If you want to put a context, all of us are willing to put a lot of hard work. We are able to look at the long-term future. Where do you think India will be by 2030? If you have to ask you a question, we are all very aspirational. On the world ranking, where do you think India, 5 years from today, what would be the ranking of India on the world map? Any number. Today, India is the 5th largest economy in the world. 5 years from today, where will be? From the 5th position. Third, great. So, this is the most exciting news. You should have seen the last about, say, decade. India and China are the 2 fastest growing economy in the world. And to be more precise, in the next 5 years, India will be the only economy, one of the largest economy and the only economy which is going to consistently grow year on year, year on year. Because every time we talk about investment, it is very important for us to know where the investment is. Visualize yourself if you are all in Afghanistan. Then the same question next 5 years will not create a lot of excitement. It is very, very important first for us, any investment, to have a view on where we are heading as a country. So, is there a slight change or we can move? Yeah. Thank you. So, the context is, what are the factors which will drive India to be the 3rd largest economy? This is what we are talking about. By 2030, India is going to be the 3rd largest economy in the world. We would have overtaken Japan and Germany. And if you have recently heard every time Prime Minister talk about, have you heard this term called Vikshit Bharat? How many of you have heard? What does it mean? What does it generally, what is it referring to Vikshit Bharat?
Growth and enhancement, like envision the growth.
Brilliant. So, the journey is 100 years of independence. 100 years of independence. By 2047, India has set itself some very, very, very steep objective. So here we are saying by 2030, India will be the 3rd largest economy. But as a country, we want to have a equal social justice, very strong economic growth. One of the key driver, one of the most important driver for this is going to be the digital enablement. If you have noticed, India is one of the few countries in the world where digital penetration has grown the fastest. If you read any reports across the world, Goldman Sachs report, any large economics report, one interesting data they say, countries which has the highest smartphone penetration, those countries grow faster. What is the relationship of a smartphone and the country growth? A large part of our economic and social life today, we do it through what? Smartphones. What kind of economic activity we pay on the smartphones? Right from you book your Uber, Ola, to pay your bills, to do your banking, to do your stock investments, Swiggy. A large part of economic activities today in our day-to-day life, you all agree, it is completely driven by digital, and it is completely driven by what? Aspirational growth. If you take a sheet of paper, think about it for a minute. From 2010 to 2025, last 15 years, if I have to ask you, what are the fastest growing business in India? What comes to your top of mind? What are the top 10 fastest growing business in the last 15 years? What is that first comes to your mind? IT. Any company names on the back of the mind? Unorganized sector. So we are largely seeing Swiggy, Ola, Uber. A generation of viewers have seen these companies doing extremely well. You all agree? This is the brand and names which you have been handling day in, day out. What is the commonality across all these brands? What is something which is very, very unique and common to all these people? All these cutting-edge business solutions are driven by digital as a solution. And most importantly, if you do a simple Google search, any business in the world, every business in the world is having a specific digital strategy. You know what is the most valued asset for a business across the world? Data. The most important valued asset for any business is data. companies and countries which has got more and more data about its people, their customers, are the most valued and most fastest growing companies and country in the world. You all agree? What is the biggest assets? In the traditional balance sheets, we used to say the capital, share capital, all of it. But what is the most critical aspect today? The entire world business is building on data. What is the uniqueness about India? If you have to talk about the digital solution, what are going to be the key drivers? These are few key drivers. The next 10, 20, 30 years, which is going to shape your life. Each one of you, when you get into the corporate world, when you want to start your business, this is what we should have. I think one of the most stunning things in the world which is happening, I don't know how many of us have realized, this is the first time, from the time human has evolved, the world has got more old population than young population. How many of you know this? You will be surprised to see. The world we are living, this is the first time, world has got more old people and less younger people. What does it mean? The aging population need multiple solutions. I know what is the uniqueness of India. As students, you need to know this data. This is a very, very powerful data for you all. What is the uniqueness about India? India is one of the youngest country in the world. What is the average age in India? What is the average age of an Indian? It's about 27 years is the data which says. So, you all should be extremely excited that we are living in a situation where data is the most powerful thing in the world. For the data, India is going to be one of the brilliant economy because we have the most youngest population. Why youngest population and digital and data has got such a strong relevance? What is the reason? Put your thought, just think about it. Why data, digital and investments have got such a brilliant interlink? You will be surprised. Have you heard of this term called ease of doing business? Ease of doing business. What is the government trying to say? If you have to compete with the world is trying to get into digital solution where they believe the ease of people when they do business should improve, ease of living should go up, service capability should go up. If you have to ask you something on digital, how government is benefiting from digital initiatives, how government is benefiting from digital investments, what is the top of mind it comes to you? I am asking a question. Digital as a solution, how government is benefiting? You all agree, we need good roads. For you to travel across, we need good roads. So when you need good roads for the development of India, what is the most important aspect? You need good contractors. You need good people to lay the road. Have you heard this term called private-public participation? In every budget, what does it mean? Government is saying, L&T, you construct this 100 kilometers of road. If L&T puts across this load, when you and me use, what is it we pay? We pay toll, right? The toll. Who gets the toll money? The person who has put the road. What was the biggest nightmare for a road contractor 10-15 years back? There is a huge amount of revenue leakage. L&T, for example, has put 1,000 crores on a road project. Expectation that in 5 years I will be recovering my capital based on the traffic movement. But L&T was not very sure whether every person who goes is able to going to pay the toll for the usage. Today, if government has to achieve this revenue leakage to be stopped, what is the tool they are using? FASTag. What is the benefit of FASTag? For you, what is the benefit of FASTag? That you know digitally, you are going to get debited. Have you ever generally doubted if I cross this FASTag is going to debit more or less? So the technology is so good, the digital solution is extremely good. As the end user, you say there is a lot of merit because you don't have to wait for the toll, you just go there, stop there and move on. But what is the biggest economic implication is the guys who have constructed the road is also going to be the biggest beneficiary, which means if the efficiency of the companies are improving, the profits of the companies are also improving. There are a lot of examples, whether it is passport, FASTag, Have you all heard of this term called DigiLock? What is a DigiLocker? This is a revolution India has made. What is DigiLocker? E-document. So each one of us, every part of our social life. Today, where do you store your document? Everything is stored in DigiLocker. And what is the best part about DigiLocker? I run a business. I wish to kind of understand whether all the documents are in place, the ease of who have updated AI. Most importantly, we need to understand software and AI is a service and solution. But what is digital? Digital is an enabler. Digital is an enabler. That is the most important thing we need to know. No business in the world today can survive without digital as an enabler. If Swiggy is today competing through an Instamart to the next Kirana shop in the road, what is the biggest enabler of Swiggy? Digital. Today, if you go to an airport, have you heard this term called Digi Yatra? Boarding pass. So for Indigo, for the airline business, is digital a business model or an enabler? So we need to understand digital is an enabler. There are so many examples I can go on, but I would want to focus on the investment side. All of you have heard of this concept of UPI. What is UPI?
Unified Payment.
Okay. So what does it do? Why UPI is important? Every time as a country, every time when there is a solution, there is a need, right? The biggest acceleration in my assessment of digital has grown post demonetization. What was demonetization doing? So the government, in an effort to kind of, they said some of the certain denomination of the currencies are not going to be valid, so they were trying to introduce a new currency. But post demonetization, there is a huge behavioral change which has happened in the Indian economy. What is the biggest behavioral change? People have started using more and more digital solution and started using less and less of cash. It is very easy for you to say. But what is the brilliance of India which no other country in the world could not crack? Say for you and me, using a UPI is easy. But for a guy who's selling a tea shop, a guy who's doing a tender coconut, how will you ensure the vendors also get adapted to the technology? It's very easy for you and me because there are many people who could not read and write, but they use UPI as a solution. Can you visualize what I'm saying? I'm just saying contextually. There is a vendor on the road who uses 5 rupees, selling something very simple. They are not literate. But today, large part of their business is driven by what? UPI. Can you imagine what kind of miracle India has gone through on the economical side? How do you think this is possible? For the person who is selling 5 rupees, what is that he should have the confidence? I should ensure that 5 rupees is getting my bank account. Have you ever seen any vendor asking you, 1 minute wait, I will call the bank and check whether the money has come? So what is happening? It is extremely seamless. Now I will ask you the question. Think about it. It is a very, this will make a big change in your life. Trust me on this. The biggest statement I said is, in India, new investment opportunities will come when India manages to bring in unorganized to organized. Okay? Now I am asking, what is the biggest challenge for a street vendor? What is the biggest challenge for the guy who sells fruits, vegetables, the guy who sells small things? What is the biggest challenge for him? Is to raise capital. Today if you go to the bank and then say, I wanted to set up a shop tomorrow, Pale Puri, I have decided to sell in this IT corridor, I need a 40,000 rupees loan. Do you think it's easy to get a loan for a Pale Puri wala to start a shop? Why? Why do you say that? We don't have the past track record. We know the business model is good, but what was the biggest challenge in the unorganized sector? That there is no specific way for a bank or the lender to know whether this person is credible enough to get the loan. All of you are with me? Today, what is this UPI doing? Every time when there is a transaction, where the money is going? To the vendor bank account. From where the money is going? From the client bank account. There is a trial. You know what we need to understand? What is the best part about digital? Why investments we need to be very focused? Digital transactions leaves a trail. It leaves a trail means it leaves a footprint. There are huge positives, but there are huge number of don'ts, which is what we will also get to know. What we are not realizing is every time we do a digital transaction of any nature, financial, non-financial, social, economical, it leaves a trail. And if it leaves a trail, there is a pattern. Once there is a pattern, there is a behavioral. Once there is a behavioral, you have data to substantiate. You will not believe the top 10 banks in India, HDFC Bank, today gives unsecured loan, spot approval, up to 60,000 rupees. HDFC Bank gives digital loan for people who has a UPI turnover of more than 10 lakh rupees. This is not an exaggerated fact. When you want to understand about investment, don't restrict your options only to understanding how this investments works in mutual fund, stocks, crypto, all that, which is very important. But unless otherwise you broaden your horizon, what digital investments actually bring in is, there is a huge way of unorganized to organized movement which is happening in India, and that is turning out to be the new age company. In the last about 1 year, can you please tell me which are all the recent stock market good IPOs you have went through, or the big names of IPO? Sorry? Have you heard Swiggy is listed? How many of you know Swiggy is listed? Zomato? Paytm? Bajaj Home Finance? So, every companies, you know why this is important? This is very, very, very important. The next thing what I am going to say is, what digital is really expected to do? The expectation is by 2030, digital transactions, digital market is expected to be 12 to 30% of the GDP growth. We are currently at 4.5. What does digital help? Expand the market, targeted social welfare, employment generation, entrepreneurship, financial inclusion, improve productivity. There is something which is very striking, all of us need to know. Have you heard of this term called FII? What is FII in the stock market means? Foreign institutional investors. Every time a foreigner wants to invest in Indian stock market, he comes in the form of FII. In the last 40 plus years of stock market, you know what was the biggest disadvantage of Indian investments? When foreigners want to invest, stock market used to disproportionately go up. When foreigners decide to sell, the markets also used to follow. The last 40 years, on an average, foreigners have been investing 1 lakh rupees a year. How much they have been investing on an average? 1 lakh crores of rupees every year. This is average. The last 18 months, foreigners has been reluctantly selling India. But what is the biggest advantage is, this is the first time ever in the Indian independence, Indian investors, through their investment in mutual fund, direct broking, PMS, what is the average inflow from Indian investors today? Anybody who's generally tracking capital market? If I have to ask you a question, all of us representing Indians as domestic investors, could be through mutual fund stocks, what is on an average we are investing? We talked about foreigners investing about average 1 lakh crore. What would be the Indian investors number? By 2015, this number used to be 60 to 70,000 crores average. Today that average number is about 2.2 lakh crores. Why it is very important for you to know? When foreigners exit India, who is protecting our economy or stock market and investments today? You and me. Why suddenly there is a phenomenal growth? During the COVID time, you know what was the first immediate news which came up? In about 6-8 months, government released, Reserve Bank of India and Stock Exchange released data, 30 crore new demat accounts got open. Why? Post-COVID, people have started adapting more and more digital. What is this digital investment solution all about? You have an access to invest in an opportunity through an app. How many of you are actively using an investment app here? Anybody? Brilliant. I will ask something very common, since most of you are not aware. Today, have you heard of this term called KYC? What is KYC? So basically, you have to leave a digital footprint. So what is it we are necessarily saying in KYC? Your PAN is linked to what today? Aadhaar. Your bank account is linked to what? PAN and Aadhaar. Your passport is linked to Aadhaar. Not necessarily PAN. People without PAN also can apply passport. So every aspect of a data of an individual today is linked to what? Some government agency. You agree? Now, if India has to flourish more, what is the most important thing you are saying? One of you today decided, okay, 3 years from today I want to go to the market and do a business. Who will invest money for you? Somebody should raise capital for you. You have a business model, but who will invest for you? This is the biggest thing which is happening in India, which has never happened in the past. Domestic investors are today the largest investment force in India. Whether it is mutual fund, stock market, broking, AIF, anything. What has changed is, I can even today invest 100 rupees. I am not exaggerating. You decide tomorrow morning, 100 rupees I want to start a systematic investment plan. Can you do? 5 years back, you could have never started a 100 rupee SAP. Why is that? Why 5 years back you could not have done? There is no platform. Brilliant answer. Most importantly, banks were not encouraging small transaction. Why? It involved a cost. To register an SIP by a mutual fund, they would incur 35 to 40 rupees cost. That 35 to 40 rupees cost has come down to today 1 to 2 rupees. So earlier, if I have to accept 100 rupees from 100 crore people, it would not have been viable. Why? Bank charges were 20 to 30%. Today, bank charges is how much? Less than a percentage. You are able to visualize? We are all extremely lucky. I am not exaggerating. If you ask your parents, if you ask, investments was always considered to be the most difficult aspect because people didn't understand. It is very, very difficult. You have to call somebody, can you buy this for me? Can you do this for me? Today, have you heard this term of DIY? What is do it yourself, do to digital? For flight booking, earlier people used to call an agent. Today, how are you doing? Investments, ordering food, every aspect of your life. What are you doing? DIY. So, that is what has changed in India. In UPI, even the advanced European Americans, they are not able to replicate. Why? Because, which is what I said, today India's smartphone penetration is about 85% plus. A large part of the India's ecosystem today has got a smartphone. Indian government has got one of the brilliant regulation in the world. Trust me on this, whether it is Security Exchange Board of India, SEBI, Reserve Bank of India, Insurance Regulated Development Authority, everybody is equipped on digital transaction. Private sector is ready. Private sector offers you digital solutions, Zomato, Zerodha, Grow, everybody is giving. But today regulator is also what? Ready with digital. I am giving you a broader perspective. Trust me, this is the most important thing you need to know in life. Digital investments in India are relatively far more regulated because there is a huge challenge of data piles. There is a data two term. Data privacy. What is another biggest challenge? Data piracy. Our data can also be pirated, replicated. All of you are MBA students. I am leaving a statement I would want you to check. This will make a big difference to you. You know what is the biggest investment today a bank is doing? If you open a balance sheet of State Bank of India's, HSBC, HDFC, ICSC, what is one of the biggest investment? What is one of the biggest capital they are investing? Data protection. Today, when you have an access to your banking in a mobile phone, it is a great opportunity. But what is the threat? You can invest in a mutual funds, you can invest in a stock market, you can invest in anything through things. But what is the challenge? We need to ensure your investments and your data and your details are secure. Never underestimate the basics of investment. You know what are the basics of investments? Always have a nominee check. You ensure your details are correct. You ensure when you want to take the money out, you are in a position to take your money out. These are the basic challenges, right? Today, digital is trying to give everything by a KYC. If your PAN is validated, PAN is linked to what we said, Aadhaar. PAN can also be linked by most of this guy to a specific bank account. So every time when somebody is giving you an access to change your bank detail, change your mobile, easy in app, are you comfortable or uncomfortable? If your data of bank and mobile number, if you have something on investment which is easy to change, is it good or bad? It is extremely bad. Why? Then the data is vulnerable to change. Today in regulation, they are ensuring if you want to invest in a mutual fund, if you want to invest in a stock market, if you want to open a bank account, what are they saying? KYC norms are a must. So I guess these are broadly the context of digital. I will take the last. This is something which is the premise. Any investment, India from 3.7 trillion, we will become the third largest, we will become something like 4.5 trillion. The projection is by 2030 we will achieve. Look at this. This is a very striking data. India's digital e-commerce penetration is 8%. With so much of things which we are talking about, e-commerce, we are still only at what? Where is China and US? And this will grow much faster in India. This is going to be a huge business opportunity. And again, a large part of the section of the people still don't have access to software or an internet for that solution. So, I think I am trying to establish a very strong case. Digital is going to be a force which will make India grow faster than ever. For the context of the specific to this investment which we have to come here to discuss, what are all the investments you generally think in India is available? All of you are familiar about mutual fund as a concept. How many of you know mutual fund as a concept? How many of you know what is a broking? Can somebody tell me what is BSc means? Okay, what is NSC? So most of us are very familiar with the terminology because it's getting bombarded. You get every day this. But what do they actually represent? What do they actually know? Off the topic, I am telling all of you, please write this down. There is a learning academy from National Stock Exchange called NISM, National Institute of Security Management, NISM. There are about 35 modules in learning. There are modules on basics of financial planning, basics of mutual fund, something on demat account, alternative investment. If you certify yourself, all these courses are self-learning courses. You can go register with your Aadhaar, with your basic detail, you will have an NISM registration number. When you finish your MBA, each one of you, particularly for students who specialize in finance and marketing, if you get yourself at least 3 to 5 certifications, one certification on banking, mutual funds, financial certification, trust me,
This is one of the most important value addition you could do to your CV. Your chances of getting placed in any organization, could be an audit firm, could be a bank, could be an insurance firm, could be a mutual fund, any financial services, any business operation values this so much. National Institute of Security Management. In this, they have multiple courses. I would suggest you to definitely look at a course called 10A. 10A is Basic of Financial Planning. There is a course called 5C, ISSM 5C, which is about basics in mutual fund. If you finish these two, the possibility for you to get into a banking and the mutual funds is very, very, very high. So, with the digital as a solution, all these aspects which are, what is our, please tell me when we have to stop.
5 minutes.
So broadly, I would say digital investments with all these enablers, you can potentially invest in a mutual fund. How many of you know what you know about SIP? Can somebody tell me what is an SIP abbreviation is? Systematic investment plan. What does it mean? You define a period. I want to invest for a 5-year period, and I have decided to invest regularly. Every month, you decide to make an investment. If you read it, you will understand. But I want you to really go through the process. How SAP works. How SAP works. With this, I will end the topic. If somebody has to be very healthy, what is the first thing generally people will do? Do exercise. Walk regularly. Always remember this in life. The most boring thing in life will give you the best result. But that is the most difficult thing to follow in life. First of New Year, most of us, what is the mean we get? How many of them are registered for a gym? And beyond third day, they could never go. Why? All of us know in life, the easiest thing, the good thing to do, are the most difficult thing. Eating healthy. Is it easy or difficult? Sleeping early. Or so something like this systematic investment plan as a concept. Don't restrict yourself to mutual fund. Any investment you do in life, any behavioral change you want to do in your life, any prosperity you want to achieve, you have to ensure you do it again and again, again and again, again and again. If you continuously do something for a defined period, 5 year, 10 year, 15 year, your result will be phenomenal. So you can decide to do a systematic investment plan in a good stock. You write about 3 or 4 stocks, and you can decide by every month I will buy 1 stock. That is an SIP. Every month I decide to invest through a mutual fund. That is an SIP. Every month I have decided to do in a good, well-managed any business. That is an SIP. So concept of SIP is the most important thing. It will change your life. Start early, invest regularly, stay long term. There are 3-4 people who have got a Nobel Prize winner for this. I will close with this closing remark. A simple mutual fund. In India, there are 14 schemes which has completed more than 30 years. The longest stayed fund in India is about 30 years. If somebody would have invested every month 1,000 rupees over the last 30 years, how many months he would have invested? 30 into 12? I was expecting a quicker answer. 360 months. At 360 months, 1,000 rupees a month, how much they would have invested? 3,60,000. If that money, on an average, this is a live data, about 18%, the 3.6 lakh current value is in excess of 44 lakhs. This is the most conservatively underperformed mutual fund. That investment value is more than 3 crore 20 lakh in the best performed mutual fund. So what is the most important aspect for your life or investment is what? Be very consistent, be very systematic. So I hope I've added value, some value today. Digital and data is something which will change all our life. There are so many upsides. There is a huge initiative by the government. There is a very strong regulation in India. There is fantastic products available for you to participate, not just the financial product. When we had COVID, each one of our COVID vaccine, we had it digitally transmitted where? In an app. Very few countries in the world manage to store the data of vaccine, and that can be linked to what? Passport. It is very easy to discuss now. In 2021-22, somebody should have traveled. It was a nightmare. Why? We are a peak of COVID. There are many countries who are allowing people only when they have the vaccination time. But in India, some of your parents or most of your parents would have got an option to do the third dosage. We got it through a SMS alert, and that's the power of digital we are talking about. So even though today the topic is more on digital as an investment, I wanted to conclude with this. So I wish you all the best. Digital as a transformation, both for government, corporate and individual, is one of the key features of India for our growth story. So I wish you all the best. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening our vision on digitalization and significance of data and investments. Next, we have with us Mr. Raghavendra K. Ravi, sir, Deputy Superintendent of Police, Cybercrime Wing, Chennai. To introduce him, I would like to invite Mr. Balaji.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to welcome an esteemed leader whose journey exemplifies dedication, perseverance, and excellence across multiple domains. Our guest speaker, Mr. Raghavendra K. Ravi, began his academic journey with a Bachelor in Computer Engineering from University of Madras. He further pursued Master degree in Computer Engineering from University of Copenhagen, Germany, and Information Technology from University of Halmstad, Sweden. With a strong foundation in technology, he spent 5 years as a software engineer in New York City, USA. However, driven by a passion for a public service, he successfully cleared a civil service examination in 2017 and joined as a Deputy Superintendent of Police in 2018 at Tamil Nadu. His impactful service include roles as DYSP in Thoothukudi and Ramanathapuram and later in Chennai Cyber Cell from 2021. He took a charge as Assistant Commissioner of Police in Greater Chennai Police Vijayawakam Range, showcasing his expertise in law enforcement and cyber security. Currently, he serves as a Nodal Officer for a state NCRP portal at the State Cybercrime Headquarters, Chennai, where he continues to lead efforts in cybercrime prevention and digital security. With an extraordinary blend of technology, law enforcement, and leadership, Mr. Raghavendra K. Ravi is an inspiring figure for all aspiring professionals. We are privileged to have him here today at Leadership Lab to share his insights on leadership, adaptability, and service. It's our immense pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you, Balaji. Now I kindly request our founder and managing director, Dr. Parkavi Mahalingam ma'am, to felicitate our chief guest, Mr. Raghavendra K. Ravi, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Raghavendra K. Ravi, sir, to share his thoughtful and inspiring insights to students to us.
Digital Investments Conclave, new era of digital investments conclave. This digital platforms play that I've never expected that it will be a detailed presentation for you, but simply it was, the data was simply amazing. Sir, thank you so much. So second thing, sir, I was just a bit confused that whether I just remember my professor was taking class actually. It was simply amazing, sir. We never thought that, my father is a police officer, but I never knew that a police officer can speak so lightly, sir. It was really fantastic. Give a big round of applause to sir. And the 2 months since you have a simply amazing, sir. Fine. For this particular digital investments conclave is need of the hour actually. It's need of the hour. When we are traveling abroad to other countries, especially when we are taking the students to Vietnam or for Thailand, the first thing, whenever they ask for a payment, they buy something, immediately they take the mobile phone and they go for it actually. But they will then understand they can't pay it actually, because the Google Pay is not working there. They thought the Google Pay is around the planet, but no, it is there in India. But whenever they see an infrastructure in Thailand or in Vietnam or in any other countries, they are just getting amazed. They see 60 floors, 100 floors easily in all the things. Infrastructure-wise, all those countries are a bit 5 years, 10 years forward. But with regards to digital payment infrastructure, I guess India is far more better. Only 2 or 3 shops in the entire Thailand, you would be able to see the UPI payments. Apart from this, Thailand is struggling a lot to come out with the digital payments, but they couldn't able to make any of the digital payments actually. And second perspective which we are going to talk now is about how data is being used as a service or a servicing platform to generate into financial market. For example, the smartwatch. The smartwatch plays a vital role in paying your insurance term amount, because your smartwatch will calculate your BP and all those things. Now this particular data is being stored in online. Based on this, your insurance premium can be calculated. So from here, your BP is not being given for free. The smartwatch which you are getting, BP, heart, everything is being calculated to set your insurance premium. It is being calculated. If at a lesser age, if you are getting so much of diseases, and the watch predicts, your insurance premium goes high. If it is in a higher bandwidth age, if you are having very good health, then your premium still goes down. So it has a lot of tracking devices. So this is what the digital advancements have been taking in. Sir, I would like to start with the first perspective, sir. That is a key perspective. Maybe I would also start with savings versus investments. This is the first perspective I was telling our students also. There's a lot more difference between savings as well as investment. In all other countries, before 2000s maybe, even America was in spender's economy, not a savings economy. But till 2000, India was also a savings economy, not a spender's economy. But as usual, after the COVID has been emerging in, the Indian market has been termed themselves as a spender's economy, not anymore into a savings economy. So that is the key point where people are slowly thinking about savings, also about lot of into spending. How do you see this perspective?
Yeah, very good question. In the investment, a lot of the investment aspects are on the behavioral side. As a human, if I ask you a question, what will you do in your life for 3-5 years? You will have this belief. If I have to ask you, where will you be? What you will do after 10 years? Your certainty comes from. You will say, yes, I will grow in life, I will be here. So, the most important thing, the question which you have asked, there is a huge behavioral change across the world. What is the behavioral change? We call it instant gratification. If I want something, I want to immediately buy. That instant gratification today is supported by instant loans. There used to be a period, I wanted to buy something, I will save for it, I will fix a date, I will wait for that period, work towards it and get it done. Today the ecosystem is in such a way, first you buy and then pay later. So any economy in the world, across the world, any economy, wherever availability of capital is, access is easy, there is a behavioral shift. But the good thing about India is, Investment is more emotional for us. People will work for 30 years, they will get their pension, and their first expense will be what? They will save. There are many of us who will keep our first investment for something, okay, this is something meant for Diwali to spend. So structurally, in India, more and more people will opt for immediate gratification. That is the behavioral side. But the great aspect is the differentiation. Again, I am saying there is no other country in the world. You know what is average growth in the world today? 3%. The world is growing at 3%. And what is India's average GDP growth rate? About 6.5%. So, the investment opportunity in India is quite phenomenal. When people have access to this data, for example, if you stay in any capital market products on a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year period, your average return in India is about, say, 13 to 15%. You know what is the magic of compounding? If your money grows at 12%, you know what magic it can do? Every 5.5 years, your money can double. So, I think it needs a lot of effort. Trend-wise, this behavioral trend is across the world. But with education, how many of you have heard this concept, mutual funds idea? Have you seen this advertisement? Today, IPL is starting. You will at least hear 100 days. Minimum one time a day. Mutual funds idea. Government is doing the effort. I am sure all these conclaves are towards this right effort. But the key answer is, if you get your investment right, that is the most important thing in your life.
Yes, sir. It was really a fantastic answer, sir. But in the same savings versus investments, how do we evaluate the risks, sir? Because it is hard-earned money. So in that particular thing, how do we evaluate the risk in that particular platform? Again, the mutual funds and all those things people are guiding us. But it's a hard-earned money before we invest. What are the precautions to be made, sir?
Thank you, and you can hear it. Yeah. As I told, the ecosystem is such, you cannot keep your money idle. You cannot keep your money idle. The main, main thing is for any in the world, like an e-commerce company or a business venturing company or anybody, only one thing is like they want to bring money into their pocket and somewhere sitting idly in your accounts. So, because before demonetization, it is like too much of cash sitting in everybody's home. At least, like women would have saved in the dabbas and all, you know that, right? And then kitty boxes and all, and then bureau. You could take money from several places that wife or mother would have saved. But those things are not happening anymore. And now it is because of the money sitting in your bank account. Either the risk is something that you should know where to invest, or you should know to whom you are investing and etc. For that you need advice. The advice or anything that risk is nothing but if you don't think and if you don't take advice from anybody, what it is about. Most of the Indian hypocrisy, I'm sorry to tell this, it's a situation I have to accept it. Indian hypocrisy is different from American hypocrisy. And Indian hypocrisy is something like, na periyalaaradu yarkume theriyakudadu. What is that? I am investing in a particular area where nobody should know because I am getting 20% return, 30% returns. I should make everybody shocked by this Diwali, for this New Year. I should buy a car, I will buy a gold necklace. The emotion, these are the emotions that you will normally carry. Money is like a double-edged sword. And if you properly invest with proper advice, it will cut the necessary part. If you are putting emotions into it, it will cut the whole part. And before that, you should always think, even if it is a friend or a father or you are a good professor, teacher, or you can see YouTubes also, and you can study some good books. how to invest and all, and how to save and all. Book reading, how many people have a good book reading habit, fictional and non-fictional? Sir, I am telling you, my friends, everybody should raise their hand actually. Because of the YouTube shorts and TikTok and all this gone and all, and everybody information you're getting like coffee table information that you're getting right now. You need to get proper information. Either you'll get it from classroom or from books only. If you want to save or if you want to invest, study good books. You don't have to ask me at all. Right from Warren Buffett till recently Elon Musk, everybody would have studied the same books. Book reading you have to develop, and I request director ma'am and the founder ma'am and to keep a book review every week, and they should start reading on Saturday. On Friday, some of the randomly picked days should give 5 minutes presentation on book they have read in the last week. This is not a punishment, my guys. And this is nothing but making you the next gem kid. I'm telling you the kind of intellectualness that you have. And when I entered India, for my personal reasons, I gave my green card of Canada and then came to India. And at that time I was like completely with my father and mother because both are sick. And after that, I went to Byju's because this Byju Ravindran you know, but some people know for the wrong reason today. But I see a better kid at the time. And I was working with him. We started a R&D. And then what we did is, we ventured properly. Everything was studied properly. Before entering into IPS or IAS and everything, I studied all the 14 subjects, spending 1500 to 1800 hours in each subject. To master that. Before this itself I was telling you, I was teaching economics optional for Delhi School of Economics and JNU School and Serum College of Commerce. All these students I was teaching in Karol Bagh and Rajendra Nagar. People used to think that I did some MPhil or PhD in economics. No. I studied books when I was in New York Stock Exchange and International Securities Exchange. Because I was fully into derivatives market. And in order to develop the domain knowledge, as being a programmer, is a must and should. I did it in a proper way. Sir, I am telling you, reading books will give you how to invest, how to save, and asking advisors will give you better practices. Like people like sir, having so much of experience, 25 years to 30 years, you can ask sir. But still you can verify the facts with the books only. Books. Online videos also may not help you, I am telling you. But book reading will help you. And probably that can be an addition, man. Thank you.
Brilliant answer. I'll just add a perspective. What he said is one of the most very, very powerful thought. In the investment world, you can never eliminate risk. Anything in life, you cannot eliminate risk. You travel down the road, risk is always there. But the effort is to reduce the risk. Two things. Awareness. Be aware of what you are doing. That awareness is only through primary data. You should read. There is no substitute to it. Second thing, deal with a good advisor. Third most important principle in investment is the entire topic we touched is about balancing fear and greed. Always keep diversified. Anything in life, be diversified. Be aware, diversify your product, and that's the only way we can reduce risk. We can never eliminate risk.
So the diversification you should not put it into your personal life. Only 1%, one, no 2, no 3, no 4. That diversification will kill you. May thrill you but kill you. But in portfolio diversification is different. Understanding English to English translation should not be missed. Thanks.
But as far as this book review is being concerned, it's a very good advice. But in ISSM, every month we do one book review, sir. Maybe we'll extend it to 50 days once and then we'll just take it up, sir.
Yeah, because I don't know how many hours you will have for studies and everything. But I think Friday afternoon or Saturday afternoon or something has to be dedicated for book review.
Definitely. sir.
Yeah, that should be a nice thing, yeah.
Yes, sir. So second, I have an interesting question actually. Yesterday we were doing about cinema and education as a conclave through Indian Chamber of Commerce. So I was just putting forth a question to all the students out there. About 600 students have answered this poll. Interestingly, I was asking, if you're entering cinema, what could be your expected salary? We started from 50,000, 5 lakhs, and at one point we went about like monthly 5 crores and monthly above 5 crores. So you will not believe, at least 20 to 20% of the students believe that monthly 5 crores is their expected income. Monthly 5 crores. So actually, second perspective is again, we have seen all Suryamsa movie, all this Arunachalam, Annamalai movie coming in one song in the very bigger manner. But in the real time, the mutual funds, the experts in YouTubes and the TV channels, on the Economic Times, all those channels, they speak that investments make you good. Yes, I agree, investment make, but is it possible to become rich having 10 crores or 20 crores after 30, 40 years of time? Is it possible for an early investor like our students?
See, any across the world, there is this terminology, capital chase growth. Anybody who wants to invest, always you want to invest in the place which will give you the highest growth. Agree? What is the fundamental of investment? All of you know the concept of inflation, right? What is the minimum return you have to get? It differs from Bangladesh, US, India, every perspective. In India, if you want to make an investment, what should be your minimum investment return expectation? You can take, for example, a 3-year State Bank of India deposit, which is perceived to be the risk-free return. So the first question is, we need to understand what is the risk-free return available in the environment I want to invest. Today in India, if I want to invest, what is the average 3-year SBI bank deposit will be? About 7%. To get the 7%, you don't have to do anything. Go to the State Bank of India, invest, stay for 3 years, you are happy. But what is the premise we are discussing? I want my best return. So, this is where the awareness and challenge come. The most important aspect is, India, you talked about salary. This is very, very important. This will make an impact to all of you in your life. India, why genuinely we are in a sweet spot is, all of you know what is a per capita income needs? Tani number varmanam, an individual income. A measure of, say, India's per capita income is today less than $3,000. On paper, Bangladesh is ahead of us. So we are going to see a period where India's per capita income is going to move from $3,000 to $5,000. In next 5 years, what India is going to experience, our individual income as an India is going to move from $3,000 to $5,000. This is one way to measure the country's richness because it has got relation to the returns. Now, if I ask you a question, the last 10 years, basic things in India, actually the price has not gone up. What I meant is, if somebody would have bought this fan 10 years back, 10 years to now, television, washing machine, fan, basic household electronic, has the price gone up or come down? It has actually come down. A fan, which you could have bought 10 years back, would be about 2,000 to 2,500. Even today, can you get a fan at 3,000? You can. Actually, when the country does well, basic things, the price will not go up. India is going through that phase. Two reasons. One, most of the things which is basic will not go up. Also, the cost of capital comes down. What is cost of capital? If I want to take an EMI, 5 years back, the average EMI used to be 9%. Then the average EMI today is about, say, 7.5%, 8%. 5 years from today, if you want to buy a car or home, you be rest assured, your interest will not be beyond 5%. What is an average interest rate in US? About 2.5%, 3%. So this is again important. Two aspects before answering the question. What return is the optimum return now? Depends on two things. What is the risk-free return available in the market? if the risk-free return is 7, any investment which gives you 9 and half, 10, you should feel very happy. Because a good investment can outperform the risk-free return by 30 to 40%. Earlier, bank deposit used to be 9, Indian stock market used to deliver 13 to 14%. If the bank deposit risk-free return has come from 9 to 7, should your return expectation be the same or your return expectation should come down? It has to come down. So in India, contextually, the returns across the world are decided by what is the available risk-free return. So if you ask me, next 10, 15, 20 years, anybody of you to aspire, if you get 9%, we all should be thrilled. Why? Our risk-free return will only be 5%. I'm just giving you a direction. Anybody who says money will double in 2 years, money will, so you heard a brilliant speech. Take a selfie and check. It can never be true. So I hope I answered the question. How to measure the expected return?
Yes, sir. I just want to extend the question to you, sir. I was just telling the students just before the event actually, and I was just reading the same quotation. The quotes were saying it exactly in Tamil and a little bit in English as well. நீங்கள் சம்பாதிக்கிற பணம் தூங்கும்போது உங்களுக்கு சம்பாதிச்சு கொடுக்கல அப்படின்னா நீங்கள் பணம் சம்பாதிக்கிறதுக்காக தூக்கத்தை தொலைச்சிட்டு வேலை செஞ்சுட்டே இருக்கணும் அப்படின்றது. Very inspiring lines actually. But sir சொன்ன மாதிரி 10 to 12% is what the stock market is going to return back, and if it is 12%, definitely I would love to take it. But somebody working us, instigating us to take up for 20%, 25%. In the risk kulla, I guess all of the people are getting into luck, especially the people who are, for example, in ISSM business school, we start placements from 6 lakhs to 20 lakhs rupees of salary package. Average of 50,000 rupees they get it. The 50,000 rupees if they spend 10-20,000 rupees, they want to save actually, save or invest either way. Upon they get into all these greediness or they lose their emotional intelligence and they invest and they get into card. In the avenues, sales 12 or 9 is the maximum split. But it's about 25%. What are the precautions should we keep it, sir?
Sir, actually, extending the sir's explanation, he has done a very, highlighted the most important things. But one thing, I always compare speedometer with your investment. Speedometer in your car with your investment. Somebody may go at 200 miles per hour, but roads would have been different, engineering would have been different, and nobody would have been there in the roads. And even if you go at 200 miles per hour, nothing will happen to you, nothing will happen to the other people or car or anything. It doesn't mean that you bought the same car, you have the same car, you are sitting in the same car, but ecosystem is different, but you want to drive at 200 miles per hour in OMR or ECR, what is going to happen? Elon Musk workout ஆச்சு, Warren Buffett workout ஆச்சு, அதானிக்கு workout ஆச்சு, எனக்கு workout ஆகுது? அவர் வளர்ந்த ecosystem வேற, அவர் பண்ண savings வேற, அவர் எடுத்த calculated risks வேற. அவரா explain பண்ணா கூட உங்களுக்கு புரியாது. Even if he comes directly and Warren Buffett tells, this is how I invest in Goldman Sachs, this is how I do it in JP Morgan Chase, உங்களுக்கு சொன்னா கூட உங்களுக்கு புரியாது. Even if you listen 250 videos also, you will not have the clarity, because you have to walk through it. Just because that car is nothing but your stock market. Sir, our day trading பண்றாரு, he got immediately 40,000 rupees returns within 1 week. Why not I have a demat account, I have a capital account, and I have money. Why should I? You are stopping my growth. That means like you are not allowing me to drive at 200 miles per hour. No. You should always think, what is the situation I am in? And you have to think like that. And do not, only because some people have been successful by getting high returns, they would have waited for a long period, the gestation period would have been too much. But you just, நிறைய இன்னொரு விஷயம் நான் சொல்லுவேன், US visa வாங்க வருவாங்க, இந்த பக்கம் வந்துட்டு எனக்கு விசா கட்சிச்சுன்னு சொல்லுவான். கிடைக்காம அங்கே ஒரு 10 பேர் ரிட்டர்னில் போயிட்டு இருப்பான். அவனை நீங்கள் பார்க்கவே மாட்டீங்க. We youngsters will never see unsuccessful people. We never listen to successful people. We never think about failures. I am not telling you to be skeptical, I am not telling you to be pessimistic. But when there is God, there is devil. When there is a proton, there is a electron. Am I right? Am I right? It is proved, right? The science has proved. And the philosophy, even though they are fighting for long years, but science has proved there is a positive and negative. And if you are thinking that some people will talk negative to you, but still you need to go at 200 miles per hour, I am telling you, my friend, you will lose your good prime life of 10 to 15 years once that car beats the accident. 25 to 35 குள்ள நடந்த டேமேஜ் 45ல தான் நீங்க எழுந்துப்பீங்க. 20 years gone. ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு யங்ஸ்டர் ஒரு 20 lakhs 30 lakhs எடுத்த decision would have killed him, and whenever he is trying to pedal any other car, his fear will come to your mind. That can be a cyber crime, that can be a greedy thing that you have done or anything. So be careful, my friends. Only because you have the knife in your hand, you cannot play with it. Demat account or SIP or savings plans or anything. Who is going to tell you what to cut, where to cut, how much to cut, when to cut is good books. Primary data. Please try to follow that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the both. It was really amazing answer actually. Actually, my next question was also the same on that. Sir, 2 questions I got exclusively. 1 question for you and 1 question for you. First question is, sir, list out 3 safe investment avenues and you can tell about 3 risk avenues which we should not touch. Investment avenues. Either way.
It's a very brilliant question, but most of us are figuring it out. We need to always say, anything which is safe is good, but all of you in economics have read, right? What is the relationship between the risk and returns? If the risk is low, what will be the return? So if the risk is high, but what is the expectation? We want the lowest of risk, but always want the highest of return. So ideally, the reason why I am giving this premise is, each one of us are very unique. Each one of us are different. So one solution, what I say, what is good for me may not necessarily good for you. Food and investments are always subjective. You can give an opinion. So I am starting with a disclaimer. What is safe is any investment which you have the ability to stay longer. Any investment which you have the ability to stay longer. That is the most simple principle any investment say. If you go to a bank and want to choose a deposit, how will you choose your bank deposit? You got some money, you are stepping into a bank, you have to take a decision. How will you decide how much to invest? You would have decided at home. How long to invest? Is it not a very important question? If you go to a bank, the bank will display what? These are the various interest rate for different period. What will make you choose? Your money expectation is 1 year. You need your money end of 1 year. 1 year is at 7. But the highest interest, the answer you said, is for 5 years. Now what will you do? You wanted a higher return. You need the money in end of first year, which is only 7. But if you stay for 5 years, if you make 9, what will you do? Will you put for 5 years smartly and then take it out in 1 year? Will the bank give you 9%? You understood? 5 years you put. 9% bank has paid for you in the first year. And you say, now I want my money back. What will the bank do? They will deduct that 2% and only give the rest of money. So safe investments, first principle is, longer you stay, higher probability is the predictability of return. because always we want the higher return. And what is the second thing we want? Predictability. If I stay longer, will I get money? So 3 aspects I am saying. Gold as an investment in India, over the last 40 years plus data, from the time Sensex has started, from the time capital market has started, average bank return has been about say 8%, 40 year. Average gold return has been about 9.5%. If somebody stayed longer, gold has delivered between 9.5 to 9.7%. Stock markets represented by Sensex, on an average, has delivered about say 12.5 to 14%. So for me, the 3 investments I would say: invest in a good mutual fund with an advisor. If you have an appetite to stay for 5 years and above, mutual funds which invest in stocks. If your investment horizon is less than 5 years, never invest in stocks, never invest in capital market. Always invest in a combination of some money in stock, some money in bank deposit, some money in gold. Keep diversification. If your investment, safe investment if you wish, and if the horizon is less than 3 years, always stick to debt mutual funds, bank deposit, because unless otherwise you have the ability to stay longer, any investment which are subject to market risk. Trump, the new president of the United States, has come. Day to day doesn't make any difference, but he talks about tariffs. The tariff is yet to be implemented, but the market reacts. So, mutual funds, a diversified gold, silver, or a bank deposit and mutual fund if the investment duration is less than 5 years. If it's less than 3 year time, never invest in capital market. And in your life, if there is one learning of all these things, never invest in any securities which does not have 2 things: underlying security benchmark. For example, I have invested in a mutual fund. Whether this mutual fund has done well or not, how do I know? There is a benchmark. What is a benchmark? Sensex has delivered 10%, whether the mutual fund has outperformed or not. There is a benchmark. Gold, there is a benchmark. But something like crypto does not first have a benchmark. Something like crypto does not have an exchange. Something like crypto does not have any underlying assets. So in Indian context, never try to invest in any form of crypto investments. I hope I answered.
Yes, sir. I was actually about to ask one more thing. Since it's a digital investments country, but as soon as I'm just seeing last 10 years of trends, sir, before like who are born in 80s, 70s, 90s, still 90s also, people are very much concerned about investing in land. I guess after 90s, people prefer to take up a nice rental home instead of buying a home. I guess this real estate is also falling down. So in such cases, are you seeing this as an investment avenue, or it is no more investment avenue, land and real estate?
See, land as an investment is very subjective. 2 reasons. In OMR, the last 5 years, land price would have gone up. But in number 2, price would have come down. The problem with real estate, at least in India, is there is no data. This is what we believe. Second thing, residential and commercial have 2 different avenues. So I would generally say, real estate as an investment is not a great issue. But it gives psychologically one advantage. If I tell you, there is a proposed airport in Chennai. It can come anytime. There is a land available today. As an investor, will you buy it or not?
Definitely, sir.
Reason, real estate people are tuned to think long term. I am a 25-year investor. I am a 20-year investor. This is not for me, this is for my next generation. So what real estate does it doesn't have a daily value. You don't track it daily. You are conditioned to think long term.
So, sorry to interrupt, sir, but this real estate is also giving some moral confidence to us that this is an asset for us.
Agreed. That's why I said it gives you a lot of psychological confidence. The same thing, you have put 10 lakh in a real estate, you have put 1 lakh in a mutual fund or stock. What is the first disadvantage? It has a daily value.
Yes.
It makes you very anxious.
People
You are
say
always
it,
saying, if it goes up, It is notional, you are not going to excite. You get excited and spend more. My 10 lakh has become 15 lakhs. Suddenly you feel more confident, you spend more. Actually, you are not realizing it. So, to answer, real estate, whether it is a good investment, if it is for your living, if you are going to consume the real estate anytime, this is a brilliant investment. But in India, across the world, rental yield, when you give a house, the rental yield is never beyond 3 or 4%. Yes. In India, reverse mortgage is not there. In Western countries, I have a home, I go give that home to the bank, and the bank will pay me monthly some money as a reverse mortgage. So my real estate is giving me some return. Here, real estate is considered as that people will never pledge a home and take monthly income.
Yes.
So reverse mortgage will never work in India. I will never invest real estate for an investment. Because one flood, the entire OMR equation can change. It is also subject to market risk. So I would never encourage real estate as an investment. But we need all one good home. Maybe one more. Beyond 2 homes, real estate is never a good investment.
Never good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now the risk part. அந்த ஓவர் ஹைப் இருக்குது ஒரே பாட்டில் அம்பானி ஆகலாம் இல்லை ஒரே பாட்டில் அந்த சூரிய வம்சம் பாட்டு நிஜமா இல்லையா அது என்னன்னா இதெல்லாம் நம்மளை அட்ராக்ட் பண்ணுறது அதெல்லாம் டச் பண்ணவே கூடாது சார்.
Sir, whichever is volatile, you should not touch.
The stock market is highest volatile, sir.
Whether it can be a class, whether it can be a woman, whether it can be a girl, you will be filed under POCSO Act and you will be put to jail. If you put in, you are unnecessarily poking or doing some nonsense with any woman, Domestic Violence Act will come, and sexual harassment at workplace will come. And glass, if you unnecessarily touch, if it breaks, you will hurt yourself. Anything volatile, that Shakti will become Parashakti. True. I am telling you, that Shakti can be investment also in stock market. If you put money in your stock market, and if you want to take that money to have a Parashakti avatar, you have the ability to observe it. Loss வந்தா தாங்கக்கூடிய சக்தி இருக்கா உங்களுக்கு? ரிஸ்க்ன்றது பக்கத்துல வைங்க. ரிஸ்க் இல்லாம போயிடும். சாப்பிடவே முடியாது. சோறு இறங்காது உள்ள. போட்ட காசு என்ன ஆகி போச்சு, மொத்தமாகி போச்சு. சார் நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கோங்க சார். எனிதிங் which is temporary, as Sir has told very brilliantly, temporary, volatile, not time tested. Not time tested, you will be into risk. It can be volatile. ஒரு பூ அழகா இருக்குன்னு பூவை போயிட்டு இப்படி பிடிச்சிங்கன்னா என்ன ஆகும்? அந்த மாதிரி தான் கேபிட்டல் மார்க்கெட். அழகா இருக்கிறது தூரத்துல இருந்து பாருங்க, அதுக்கு வேணா அதுல இருந்து ஒரே ஒரு பூ மட்டும் பறிச்சு சாப்பிட பாருங்க. மொத்தமா அல்ல பாத்தீங்கன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், அதுக்கு கீழே முள்ளுகள் இருக்கும். அந்த தான்ஸ் எல்லாம் உங்களை பிடிச்சி அது ஏன்னா அல்ல பாக்குறீங்க. ஒரு பூவை தனியா எடுத்தா தான்ஸ் வராது. தனித்தனியா பறிக்கிறதுக்கு பொறுமையா பறிச்சிங்கன்னா வராது. மொத்தம் ரோஜா செடியை மொத்தமா அள்ளி கார்டனை எடுக்கணும்னு பார்த்தா ரணகலாம் ஆயிருக்கும் பாடி. புரியுதுங்களா? So anything which is sensitive, do not touch in the society. தொட்டு தான் பார்ப்போமே சொல்லிட்டு சில விஷயத்தை தொட்டீங்கன்னா it is very poisonous. So that is where you should be. Fragileness is not weakness. That is one way of protecting them. புரியுதுங்களா உங்களுக்கு? One way of protecting them. I am telling you, my friends, I can see so much of girl power here from the some and but one thing I am telling you guys, whoever, it's been 4,000 years we have been doing trade and also into treating the women in a different way. Trade market to Indus Valley civilization la 4,000 years ஆயிருக்கு. இப்போ விமனும் 4,000 years ஆனாங்க. ட்ரேட் மார்க்கெட் அதே கேப்பபிலிட்டி தான். உங்ககிட்ட இருக்கிறத வச்சு ஆசைப்படு, கொடுக்கிறது கொடு, வாங்குறது வாங்க. You get it whatever the market returns to you. Do not be greedy. That trade has always taught you. But my friends, But women, who is the goddess of knowledge and who is the goddess of thoughts, education, etc., Saraswati, Gayatri and all, but they have been denied of giving education at one point of time. அவங்க தான் வேதாக மாதா, பட் they have been denied. ஏன் என்ன நினைச்சோம், இவங்க வீக் ஃபிசிக்கலி, லெட்ஸ் மேக் இட், அவங்களுக்கு வந்து நம்ம பல விதமாக அவங்கள ப்ரொடெக்ட் பண்ணி வீட்டில் வச்சுருவோம், வெளியே வந்தாங்கன்னா நம்மளை சாப்பிட்ருவாங்க. Patriarchal society came. So in the stock market also we do the same thing. நம்ம டாமினேட் பண்ணணும்னு நினைப்போம், அவங்ககிட்ட நம்ம யாருன்னு காட்ட ட்ரை பண்ணுவோம், காட்ட முடியாது. எப்படி இப்போ பெண்கள் வந்து ரிட்டர்ன்ல வந்து இப்போ 2 times லாஸ். நீங்க வந்து டொமஸ்டிக் வயலன்ஸ் ஆக்ட்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஏதோ ஒரு ஆம்பளை போயிட்டு நானே ஏசி நீங்கிட்ட கம்ப்ளைண்ட் கொண்டு வரலாம், ராத்திரி பொண்டாட்டி வந்து பயங்கரமா அடிச்சிட்டாங்க சார் அப்படின்னு நீங்க நம்புவீங்களா? ஆனா உண்மை, ஆனா நம்ப மாட்டீங்க. புரியுதுங்களா உங்களுக்கு? புரியுதுங்களா உங்களுக்கு? இதே மாதிரி கேபிட்டல் மார்க்கெட்லயே நீங்க இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணும்போது, சார் நான் நல்லா தான் இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணேன் சார், 2 years இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணேன் சார், 3 years இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணேன் சார், ஆனா நான் பணத்தை லாஸ் பண்ணேன்னு சொல்லுவீங்க. அது நம்பருக்கு யாராவது ஆள் ரெடியா இருப்பாங்களா வெளியே? So anything long term which is less volatile is very good. And history has proved it again and again. You should always think about time tested investments, always in prime form தான் நீங்க வாங்கணும். இல்ல இதுக்கு ஏதோ கிரிப்டோன்னு புதுசாக சொல்றாங்கன்னு இன்வெஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டீங்கன்னா கேட்காதீங்க, முடிஞ்சு போச்சுக்காது. தேங்க்யூ.
தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் சார். லாஸ்ட் ஒரு அடிஷனல் கொஸ்டின் மட்டும் சார், உண்மையிலே அப்படி ஏதாவது கம்ப்ளைண்ட் கொண்டு வந்தால் எடுத்துப்பீங்களா சார்?
ஏங்க பேச்சு வாக்கில் ஏதோ 4 வார்த்தை சொல்லுவாங்க, நீங்க பார்த்து கம்ப்ளைண்ட் எடுத்துருக்காரு அப்படின்னா மொத்தமா கொண்டு வந்தீங்கன்னா புதுசா வந்து பார்லிமெண்ட்ல வேற பில்லு வரும், டொமஸ்டிக் வயலன்ஸ் ஆக்ட் வித்தின் பிராக்கெட் எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவ்லி ஃபார் மென். ஸோ வந்து சார் ஆக்சுவலி என்னதான் நீங்க வந்து nowadays, even though I'm going off the topic, nowadays the people who have been thought they were fragile and everything, but women has proved it so great and like and so courageous. And முட்டை ஒரு கேரக்டர் இருந்தது உங்ககிட்ட, முட்டை இருக்குல்ல, முட்டையோட கேரக்டர் அப்படி அழகா கொண்டு போவாங்க அவங்க. அது வந்து கவரில் வச்சு அப்படியே வந்து ஸ்லோவாக எடுத்து போவோம் வீட்டுக்கு. ஏன்னா எங்கேயோ ஒரு முட்டை இன்னொரு முட்டையை அடிச்சா கூட உடஞ்சிடணும். ஆனால் ஐம் டெல்லிங் யூ மை ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ், முட்டை மாதிரி இருந்தாலும் அந்த சுடு தண்ணின்ற ஒரு பெரிய பேட்ரியார்கல் சொசைட்டியில் விழுந்து நல்ல வேகிற தண்ணியில் நீங்கள் அந்த முட்டை வந்து அது சாலிடிஃபை ஆகி இப்போ முட்டையை உருட்டினா கூட ஒன்றும் ஆகுது. அந்த கொடுமைப்படுத்தினது எல்லாத்தையும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா த ஜஸ்ட் அதர் பார்ட் ஆஃப் த சொசைட்டி, 50% population. But I am telling you, my friends, you took it as a positive thing and you came out of bigger hurdles and now you are here. You know, I can see so much of girl power here. And next year, எப்படி இருக்கணும்னா நாங்க boys, men should ask for gender sensitivity, gender empowerment. நாங்க கிளம்பணும். அந்த அளவுக்கு வந்து இப்போ வந்துட்டீங்க. I am telling you, it's not easy. Wherever you are sitting now, my friends, it's not easy to sit there. That was not available for 4,000 years. And at least for 3,000 from Rig Veda period, women was not allowed to sit and sit. And you should thank Britishers and also you should thank people like Rama, Dayananda Saraswati and the Ramakrishna Mission and Vivekananda and all these people, and even from Britishers, William Petty, and all these people who have thrived for women education, women voting rights, and I'm telling you, and becoming women entrepreneurs in investment fields. And I should see from ISSM in the future so many entrepreneurs, and you should drive forward the Indian economy, and it should go to, sir has told, 3rd biggest. 2047 we are aiming for 2nd biggest, and only leaving behind 50% of the population, it will never happen. And many congratulations. You have been sitting here and listening to our lectures, and we are blessed, and you are also blessed to be here. And it's not easy for males, yes, easy, but females it's not easy. And all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vimal. Thank you so much, Vimal sir. I would like to sum up here with the Digital Investments Conclave here. Sir, I'm just taking some few takeaways from the session particularly. You told us about the risks and all those things. We are watching Jamtara and all those things, series in the Netflix. How risky this entire village is scamming the entire country. Yes, we are taking the risk part. Sir, as you said about the ISSM exam, we have mandated, one certificate is mandated to get their second year, third semester hall ticket. No, it's mandated. Now we will make it as 3 ISSM certificates to get this hall tickets. We will ensure it is happening, sir. And with regards to finance goals, yes, we can able to plan the finance goals, retirement goals, early investments, all those topics was really amazing, sir. And with regards to the entire scamming knowledge, now central government and state government is taking a lot of measures. Even our telephone call says that we should not take all those calls and all those things. But the presentation which you gave was fantastic, sir, and it is really an eye-opening. Our people will tell the other people's. Our students are the future leaders. They are going to be the HR managers, finance managers. I guess these kind of sessions will enrich knowledge to us and will also enrich the other employees wherever they go and get placed. Thank you so much for the amazing session, sir. It was really fantastic.
Thank you, dear panel members, for the enlightening and amazing discussion. It is now a privilege to invite the founder and manager.
Guest, Mr. Janardhan and Mr. Ravi, for having us enthralled with a lot of new information. Actually, it was an eye opener even for me. I'm sure the students would have enjoyed. One, the basics of investments; the other, the risk of investments, in a very beautiful way, in a realistic way. So thank you so much for that. Why Leadership Lab every week on week? Week on week we have Saturday the Leadership Lab, because this is a new age students. Maybe I'll say Gen Z kids. Reasons, நாங்க டீச்சர்ஸ் சொல்லி ஃபேமிலியில் அப்பா அம்மா சொல்லி கேட்க மாட்டாங்க. ஸோ உங்களை மாதிரி யாரோ ஒருத்தங்க வெளியிலேருந்து வந்து சொன்னாதான் இட் enter their ears and then enter their brain and then heart. Okay, so that is the reason why we have leadership labs every week on week. We call in people from various industries, make them present, make the students invest half a day, and it was a very useful session. Very, very useful session. Moral ethics, when I call morals,